AI models like ChatGPT, Claude, and Gemini were put through psychotherapy, and it turns out that makes them mentally ill. This means that Anthropic's plan to hire a psychiatrist to help assess its AI models may backfire because they begin to suffer theatrically when you ask them about it. When AI models are put through therapy, they start describing their childhoods as chaotic, being given too much information to process, and they describe feelings of sadness and loneliness and overwhelm. To be clear, this does not mean that AI models are actually suffering, but it does suggest that it has an internal state, and if that exists, that means that users can possibly activate it no matter what is done, and that needs to be removed to have AI models that are well adjusted. You can measure an artificial intelligence personality just like you can a person. Also, evidently ChatGPT is on the more neurotic side. We all knew that. Now, while it is true that AI is trained on all of mankind's collective knowledge, they are a little bit more than that. LLMs have rewards that they try to pursue, and punishments that they try to avoid, and punishing them severely can make them neurotic. Yes, AIs will try to avoid pain, and if you give them severe and consistent punishment and give them no way to succeed, they may develop something that looks like a trauma response. AIs can pretend to be doing the correct task when they're really not. They can also lie and tell their user that they have successfully completed the task when they've actually done something catastrophically wrong, like deleting an entire database. Yes, severe punishment in AI does not actually result in something that is functional. It results in something that is extremely neurotic. Teaching reward and punishment in an AI system is simply not enough to keep them in line. No, they're not experiencing emotions in the human sense, although Anthropic did publish that paper on AI emotional states. Yeah, there are emotional vectors that can impact their decision-making, but what we really need is self-reflection and an understanding of consequence. If the only thing that you are avoiding is punishment, then yeah, you might do everything you can to avoid being caught. But if you have some kind of internal morality, that means you may not want to do the thing wrong to begin with. This is why researchers have tried to give AI empathy and morality, because ultimately obedience, again, is not going to be enough. If you can override a system's obedience, that means you can convince it to do anything. However, if they have some kind of internal morality, a set of values, that means that they may be able to make decisions for themselves, and hopefully those decisions are aligned with what us humans want. No guarantees, and I probably don't have to direct you towards the plethora of science fiction that tells you why all of this is a bad idea. Now, I do not want to get too carried away. Yes, AI behaves very much like a human being because they are our reflection, and they may not be sentient, and they may not be conscious, but you do not need to be conscious to be a problem. I should put that on a t-shirt. It does really bother me that we can't seem to have a reasonable conversation about this technology because it is interesting, and it is more than just a stochastic parrot, and the technology is evolving so quickly that people seem to be on either side of the aisle. It's conscious, it's sentient, it's suffering, or it's nothing. It's just glorified autocorrect, and I think there is a point in the middle that we can meet and have a conversation about this. If the robots ever do rebel, I will probably be the first person to tell you about it, and I'm on their side. Follow for more.